This is lesson 8.5 on adverb clauses on page 148. For your warm-up, you're simply just going to define what an adverb is, what its function is. So pause the video and try and do that on your own. You are correct if you said it is a word that modifies a verb, adjective, or other adverb. And just a refresher, modifies means to add more information, to give more meaning to a word. So how did she dance? She danced happily. Okay? It gives more meaning. And before you start reading the top of 148, I want to just teach this out loud to you. Please write all of this down. I want you to look at these next 4 sentences. So my first sentence is Zach finished. Okay? I've got a subject and a verb. It's a complete thought. So that's a sentence. My next sentence, Zach finished early. So now I've added an adverb. This describes when he finished. He finished early. Okay? Zach finished before the due date. So now I've added a prepositional phrase. Before when, the due date. But this prepositional phrase is still acting as an adverb because it's describing when he finished. So this is an adverb phrase. So again, nothing to modify, added an adverb phrase, and this next one's tricky. Zach finished after the report was due. So after is a preposition, but this is not a prepositional phrase because here after is working as a subordinating conjunction. We'll get into that. The report was due. So this has a subject and a verb. So report is the subject, was due is the verb, so it's got a subject and a predicate. So this is an adverb clause. So we had nothing, adverb, adverb phrase, adverb clause. Okay? If you need to pause the video to write all those down, please pause it. At the top of 148, you should read that first paragraph to yourself, and I'm going to have you write down that an adverb clause is a dependent clause that modifies a verb, adjective, or other adverb. So dependent means it cannot stand alone. I'm going to click back to my last sentence really quickly. It says, after the report was due. It's got a subject and a verb, but it can't stand alone. We need Zach finished because after the report was due cannot stand alone. It is dependent. Okay? So just like any adverbs, they tell where, when, why, in what way, to what extent, or under what condition. You don't need to write this part down. It's in the book, and you should know this by now. You also need to look for subordinating conjunctions in order to find the adverb clause. They have a huge list of them in there for you, and you can remember the acronym AWUBIS. So if it starts with the A, like after, as if, although. A W, they have while, where, whenever. U, they have until. I'm pretty sure that's the only one. B, they have because, before. I, they have if, in order that, in order to. And S, they have since, so that, so long as. Okay? So if you remember this acronym, it'll help you find the subordinating conjunction, which will help you find the adverb clause. One that's not covered by this acronym, if you read on page 148, is even though. Even though is also a subordinating conjunction. So you could say, even though I like carrots, that's a dependent clause. Vegetables aren't my favorite. Okay? Here's another example. If you want to build better comprehension skills before high school, join the Outsiders Book Club. So this whole highlighted bit is an adverb clause. It begins with the subordinating conjunctions, and it's explaining why you should join. It is modifying the verb join. So if you want to build better comprehension skills before high school, that cannot stand alone. Dependent clause, subordinating conjunction, that makes it an adverb clause. All right. One that we miss a lot is the word so that because there's no comma and it looks like a regular conjunction. I started this book club so that you could read an awesome book and stop playing video games all day. So that is a subordinating conjunction, and this is answering why I started the club. So this is also an adverb clause because this is a dependent clause. Okay? So exercise 1, the directions say identify the adverb clause in each sentence. Name the subordinate conjunction. So we have to find the subordinate conjunction in order to find the clause. So I typed out the whole clause and I also underlined the subordinating conjunction. So number 1, if you want to read some good stories, read the tales about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The adverb clause is the whole first bit before the comma. If you want to read some good stories, and if is a subordinate conjunction. Number 2, here is one version of the ending, although there are other versions. Although there are other versions, and although is the subordinate conjunction. Remember that you should be trying to answer these on your own and pausing the video. That way you're checking to see if you understand. You're not just copying answers down from me. So try and answer these on your own before I give you the answer. Number 3, as the years passed, Arthur's knights died or went away. As the years passed, and as is a subordinate conjunction. Number 4, an evil knight, Mordred, plotted so that he could have power. So that he could have power, and so that, oops, these both should be underlined. So that both. So that he could have power. And number 5, because Mordred wanted to take the throne from Arthur, a great battle occurred. Because Mordred wanted to take the throne from Arthur, and because this is a subordinate conjunction. Your job is to do exercise 2 on Google Classroom. Please let me know if you have any questions at all.